Whoosh.
Hey everyone.
Hey.
Not you.
Oh.
Team Mambo, Cathal here. Oh, that should be my name, Team Mambo Cathal. I like that.
What are you going to show us today?
We've theoried out a Thunder Dragon deck profile for the new format.
Whoa.
We've done a bit of testing with it, not a whole lot yet, but I think the theory is really solid, and let's just get into the deck profile. I'll go through the profile. I'll just talk about all the cards, why they're included, the side deck theory, the X deck theory, the combos, how it does against the other decks that we're suspecting will be good in the format.
Okay.
Before we start, I was just going to say that this deck is based around the theory that there will be 3 good decks this format, which is the Salad, Orcus, and Pure Thunder. So it's geared towards those matchups, particularly, as well as the Princess could be like sneaking in with some of the new cards and new support they're getting.
They're just salad anyway.
It's just water salad.
Wet salad, soggy salad.
The theory is pretty similar for the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's what the deck's based around. Subject to change. Disclaimer. Let's just get into it.
Alright, let's go straight into it.
We start. 3 Pure Thunder Dragon, best card in the deck. Just endless pops. With Titan, if you have this Titan Infusion, you're just popping like 5 times in your bonus turn and just clearing your entire board.
Was that correct, Matt?
Huh?
5 times?
Yeah.
Oh,
give
sweet.
Or take.
Give or take.
3 of this. We're actually just playing 3 of every Thunder Dragon monster. The reason we're doing this is because basically we want to play a very minimalistic turn 1, because Nibiru is a card that a lot of decks maining it. So if you play a really minimalistic turn 1, you're going to end on a Colossus after just 2 or 3 summons, or a Titan. You can end on a Titan with 2 quick effects in hand after just 4 summons, which is incredibly good against Orcus and Salad, because the 2 pops against Orcus could be actually clutch this format. So we're playing really minimalistic, and we're just hoping to end on like a very basic board, and then follow up with a really strong turn 3 and just like out resource and grind that way. So we're not playing a lot of combo cards. We're just relying on opening Thunder card and any other card in the deck to just do like a 1-2 card combo, and on Colossus with 5 cards still in hand. So we play. This is why we play the 3 duo, because it's just 1 card. It's just summon itself. A lot of people don't play the 3. It's really good to summon itself. We play a rank 8 as well. It's pretty good in the format, so a duo comes up quite a bit for that too. The rest of the monsters we play the normal summons, triple aloof and 2 solar. I play more aloof than solar just because solar is it's a more combo heavy card. You go off and you go a lot further when you have solar. Whereas aloof again is a very minimalistic card. If you have aloof and either of your dudes,
Whoa.
aloof and either of these, not this really, actually no, aloof and either of these, preferably like aloof and this to play around hand traps and stuff. You end on Titan with a quick effect in hand, or 2 quick effects in hand after 4 summons. So aloof is really good for that. Solar is good, but to get into bigger boards with solar you do require more than your 5 summons, so it plays kind of into Nibiru. Aloof is just better for playing around cards in general. So we want to max out on the aloof. I think 5 normal summons is pretty good for the deck, because you don't have to normal summon to get into any of your plays, but it's a bonus if you have to normal summon. Because like the engine just replaces itself continuously. So it's fairly good value. It's a lot of stonks in the deck. Hand traps, we're maining triple bell. I feel like, again, if the format is the way we think it is, with the Thunder Dragons, Salads, and the Orcus, Bell is just the blanket hand trap that is pretty impactful against all the decks. Ash obviously is a very generic hand trap, but it's not as impactful as Bell. DD Crows is more impactful than Bell a lot of the time. But because Pure Thunder is going to be highly represented, we feel like Bell just has so much more value because the Hawk and the Fusion are good targets for Bell. Spells, triple Allure. Allure in any of your Thunder cards, at least 1 Colossus. So why not? And then something else a lot of people aren't doing is triple fusion.
Oh, triple fusion.
A lot of people will only play triple fusion if they're playing desires. I don't play desires because I feel like the deck plays enough with the cards you have in hand that you don't really need more. You can open poorly, but not open awfully. So, and the reason triple Thunder Dragon Fusion is so good right now is because every other way in your deck to get into one of your boss monsters requires at least 2 summons, whereas Fusion requires 1 summon to get into Titan. Whereas other ways into Titan is you have to summon Colossus, which already takes 2 summons to summon a Thunder monster, tribute off for Colossus, and then get rid of it for Titan. That's 3 summons into a Titan, or 2 summons into a Colossus. Whereas Fusion just 1 summon into your Titan, so it plays around Nibiru. It allows you to increase your board. If you have like a 1 boss monster on board after 3 summons, you just Fusion out and you get another one. It's also the best card to have in your grave turn 3. And this deck is more like geared around playing turn 3 than turn 1. So you just want to, again, the minimalistic setup turn 1, get this in your graveyard, and then just follow through turn 3. This searches any card in the deck, it's absolutely stonks. So definitely, I think 3 is pretty good. I play 1 upstart, just consistency. It's a really good side out in the deck with the way that the side deck is theoried. The upstart is really good. We'll get through the side deck in a minute though. And we'll talk about siding theory and how we're going to side deck. Play 1 gold stack is a good card. Triple Impermanence is a trap and a hand trap. We like traps, they're not that gay. Just a little bit. We play the Trap Searcher and we play 2 Dynamiscus as well.
Whoa, can you explain this?
Yeah, I've seen people playing Dynamiscus before, it's nothing new really, but I just feel like it is so strong right now because you see what the value it has in the matchups is against Thunder, it's the out to Titan, and Titan is like your win con in a mirror match. Like you slap Titan on board, you just chain to any of their Thunder monsters effects to pop anything on board. So Dynamiscus is able to out that, so it's even decently going second. Imperm also outs the Titan, which is handy. Trap Trick allows just to get it out of the deck. Because usually you don't really want to resolve more of these because the discard is good for the deck, but you don't want to be discarding too much because then you're losing resources. So you want to resolve really 1 per turn, but because it's such an impactful card, you're resolving 1 of them, and you don't need enough for the rest of the game because you're just snowballing and taking advantage from there. The reason Trap Trick is good as well, so if you open multiples, you can just search the opposite trap as well. It's really good. I tested a bit, it's come up all the time. Like against Orcus, it's just you banish the first Galatea they put down and they're just like struggling to recover from there unless they have the right extenders. Pure Thunder, obviously a Titan, and then against Salad, if they open the Gazelle, you just banish the Gazelle and they're just like playing from behind for the rest of the game. If they don't open Gazelle, you banish the Stalio on summon and then they don't have Gazelle access, and then they're struggling from there. As well, Stalio is very threatening to Thunderboard because it outs without destruction. So if you can get it off the board as soon as you can, like Dynamiscus is crucial for that. That's the main deck. Extra?
So 40 cards, yeah?
40 cards.
40 cards, sweet.
Triple Titan, triple the other one. You just want them, your deck grinds really well, you want to keep your resources. Fusion puts them back, so you just keep going. The engine recycles itself completely. There's not much to explain about these, it's really good. Then the last Fusion we play a Super Poly Target. It's probably the best one right now. There is the new Predaplant that's 3 Dark Monsters, but I feel like a lot of the time people won't be ending on 3 Dark Monsters, so unless you're playing a deck like Guru or Altergeist or something that has the extra deck space, like if we just have a 1 target, I think this is the best generic 1 target to have. Link Monsters, Karibo, it's needed for combo. Phoenix, back row removal, Summoner for combo, Wee Witch for combo. There's a lot of debate about this card as well at the moment. Basically, a lot of people want to play Lambda because it's a light, and if you're playing 3 duo, you want to have access to your lights. But I think it's as generic as Lambda in the deck because the most time you're making this, you're making with Aloof, and whatever you summon off the Dark, you banish from Aloof. Or if you're making with Aloof and Matrix goes into the Karibo first and then into the Wee Witch. It does cost you an extra summon, but the deck still plays that way. As well, you get really good value off this, that if you have Titan on board. So the 4 summon combo is this and Titan with 1 quick effect in hand. But if you have like a vanilla Thunder Dragon or anything else you can activate in hand, you can activate that and pop the Wee Witch and add back the Thunder Dragon Dark from Grave to hand.
Oh.
So now you have your Titan on board with 2 quick effects in hand for next turn, just off the 2 card combo, and that way you still have 4 cards in hand to play next turn because your engine replaced itself. So you have 2 quick effects next turn, you have Fusion and Grave set up for next turn, and you just play on turn 3. So that's why I think Wee Witch is better, because it just gives you that little bit more power turn 1 when we're playing a very weak turn 1 already. The rest of the Link Monsters, BLS, it's just hard for a lot of decks to out. Barlow, because we'll be playing mirror matches, and it's just a good card in general. Apollo for the Hawk and Solar combo. It's actually the 6th summon in the combo, but if people don't see it coming, you don't get Nibiru'd. So it does kind of rely on your opponent playing poorly. But if they do Nibiru you before you put this out, you have the resource in hand to still end on 1 Colossus through the Nibiru. So it's either you end on Apollo Colossus, or if they see it coming early, you just end on the Colossus by itself. So either way, you're ending on your boss monster with follow up for turn 3. Which is pretty good. And then the last card we played the rank 8, Sanafon. This card's good. It's a rank 8, it's easy to make. It's not easy to make without 4 summons or without 5 summons. But it's something you just need to kind of make a read, I guess, when you're summoning it. Like if you can turbo out a Colossus early and then have resource engraved to summon duo, you can make it. But it's very difficult to make without going over the amount of summons you want to summon. But the card's just worth playing because, again, like think about the matchups we're playing against Salad and Orcus heavily. This card does solo Salad and puts in a lot of work against Orcus. They really struggle to play through it. That's the extra 15 cards. And then the side deck. We're playing more traps in the side deck to give more value to our trap trick. So we play 2 Sanctums in the side. So obviously when we're siding, if we're siding these 3 in going first, we're usually taking out the bell. Because sight hits the decks that bell hits, but it's harder. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
like it hits the decks harder, so you're taking out the bell for the Sanctum and sights. Like Bell's a good card to keep in hand, and again it raises the ceiling of your turn 1 board without increasing the amount of times you have to summon. So it's really good value for that sense. Then we play 2 more traps. We play the Eradicator. So against decks that this doesn't do well against, Bell also doesn't do well against. So we need the Eradicators to go in. And then the decks that Eradicator goes well into, so we need to take out the 3 Bell. The decks that Eradicator goes well into, you also have the Denko. So these are going in first against your back row matchups. Play through that. So you're taking out the 6, and you're keeping your combo as consistent as possible, while just raising the ceiling of your turn 1 by putting in more power cards for the matchup. So that's where these come in. We'll talk more about the Denko later. It's searchable off Fusion as well, which is really handy. So even if you have the setup for turn 3 to search Denko and then normal summon into the back row, it forces them to Judgment if they have it. And then if they don't have it, you're just winning the game from there.
Yeah.
We also side then for the other strong decks to format, the Super Poly. So we played a Starring Venom, so Super Poly's good into the Orcust, into some rogue decks that will play Dark. There'll probably be Dark Warrior decks people are playing still. And into Pure, you can either Super Poly for the Starring Venom if they don't realise they need to play around it. Because it's easy to play around it, just do Colossus Tide into Light in the Dark. They can make Starring Venom. Or if they really go hard and commit, they're playing into Super Poly into Titan.
Yeah.
Which really hurts them if you clear their entire board and summon a Titan.
And that's game for you
It's
in the mirror.
Nearly game. Like if they can't recover, they can't recover.
Yeah.
And then for the same matchups again, we play triple Mind Control. There's a lot of debate whether we're playing this or Shifter. I feel like Mind Control is better than Shifter because again we're going to talk about the three decks we're playing against. That we're playing against Orcust. Mind Control just like forces the crescendo against Orcust. There's nothing they can do, and then you just have to play through it in Girsu and Galatea, which your deck is more than capable of doing with the amount of extenders. Especially if you could like going second, if you Mind Control force the crescendo. Now you just have to go into Titan and Thunder Dragon, and then Thunder Dragon is just going to keep discarding itself. Titan's going to keep popping. You're just going to clear their board. They're going to keep detaching their Dingirsu to leave nothing left. Mind Control is going to force it. I think it's better than Shifter, whereas because Shifter is better into Salad than Mind Control, but Mind Control is better into Pure Thunder than Shifter.
Yeah, you cover more ground with Mind Control.
So. I think the harder matchups for Thunder are the mirror match if they play it well, and Orcust. Salad's easier to kind of play through their board, start popping their cards. So even though Dimension Shifter is a free game against Salad, I think the deck is strong enough into the matchup that you'd rather have more coverage for harder matchups than the easier matchups, if that makes sense. Then the last 3 in the side deck, again for going second into back row. is Twin Twisters. Most backward decks you're not playing Bell, so you're taking them out, going second as well. So you're putting them out. You're putting in the Denko as well. So that's your 4 is your Bell and your Upstart.
And would you just take out one of the playsets, one card from the playset of Thunder Dragons for the Denko as the 4th card going in? You're taking out the 3 Bells, and what else are you taking out for the Denko? Oh, Upstart, sorry.
So that's why like we play the one of comes out the Upstart as well. If you're siding in, we have these 3. But if we are playing a matchup that we want to keep in a Bell, you can take out an Upstart for this. I don't really like it because you want to keep the consistency in your main deck as much as possible to go into your 1-2 card combos and then just raise the ceiling with this. Somebody knows we're not playing the Nibiru in the deck. The reason behind not playing Nibiru is because I feel like the best deck of the format is going to be one that doesn't play into Nibiru. So we want to side for the best deck of the format and not for the other decks. So if people are playing around Nibiru against you, Mind Control is so much more value. And Poly has more value because they're not ending on as big a board. So
you're
it's easier to poly
clearing
away.
the majority of their board now.
So you get more value out of these for people playing around Nibiru than you actually do out of the Nibiru, because Nibiru is a dead card against the decks that can actually play around it.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions about the deck or?
No, not really.
I think like it is like changeable depending on the format. Like we'll just take another look at the main deck if you want, and just show what I consider to be like the flexible cards in the main deck. So I feel like this engine is going to be good regardless. Whether you're playing the Dynamiscus or not is one thing. Like if you want, like I was for a while testing your maining the sites instead of the sanctums. So the Upstart obviously isn't in the main deck, and then you take out these 2 for the sites and sanctums. I just feel like Dynamiscus does have more coverage and it's better playing into boards that way. So these are kind of the flex positions. This is mostly what you're siding out. You're rarely touching your Thunder cards because you want to maintain the consistency in the deck, and going second, your Thunder cards are incredibly powerful. Like going second, these are mostly coming out. Going first, these are mostly coming out. Sometimes you'll take them all out, like into your back row decks when you're taking out. You're putting in your Twin Twisters and your Denkos. You can put in Eradicators even for the follow-up next turn. Like, because people aren't going to be playing back row removal in their back row decks against you. Like, people, if they're maining Dusters, they're going to be sending them out into Thunder. So Eradicators has so much value for turn 3 again follow-up. So that's what we're playing for. Like, we're not playing to win like by setting up a huge board turn 1, or we're not playing to OTK turn 2. We're just playing to have a minimal setup and then just push through for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's got incredible grind in that anyway, watching your games today.
Yeah, so that's the plan.
Alright, thank you for your in-depth guide into Thunder Dragons.
No problem.
I'm sure this will help a few lost Thunder Dragon souls that are struggling to make a deck for the format.
Deck's really good. I think it's arguably the best deck to format. Like, it does have an awful Orcus matchup, but we play cards like the Dynamiscus, the Bell, and the Sanctums and Sights. That kind of, it's kind of like a band-aid for the matchup. That if you're playing pure Thunder without the trap lineup, you're really struggling in the matchup. Because if you're playing the traps, it allows you to have more power into the matchup. I think it's a good matchup against Salad. I think if you can set up properly, it's good in the mirror. And again, the sights and the Dynamiscus are really good into the mirror.
It does force out the Super Poly.
So it gets more. It gets more value. Just gets more value into the more difficult matchups rather than into the easier matchups.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any shoutouts?
Thanks to our sponsors, Card Market, Sandbox, and all my friends and family. Shout outs to everyone on the team, especially all the new guys. I feel like you're already part of the family, and I'm so happy to have you on the team.
Aww.
And I can't wait to keep playing with you going forward and keep winning events with you.
Whoa, okay.
Just one more thing I want to say real quick before we wind up.
Okay.
It's
my phone's dying, come on, live.
eat your vegetables, exercise regularly, don't do drugs. Jesus loves you. Bye.